And good evening. Welcome to another night of Bullish. You are one-stop shop for all things cargo, hauling, commodity, and trading. If you can throw in the back of a ship and sell it, we're going to talk about it. I am your favorite host, Santa Claus, and we're coming to you from our brand new SE Wealth Corp booth here on the 47th floor of the White Tech Tower in downtown Area 18. I'm definitely glad to be back from vacation. Sorry, it's been a while since last time we talked, but I'm back. Let's get into it. We have a great show tonight, as we have a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has been going on. The fallout from the past two economic bubble bursts that we've talked about previously has finally settled, and the markets have righted themselves naturally, which is great. It's obviously nuts what's going on in the cargo world right now. Just crazy. Usually I like to break down a commodity into three different parts and focus on just one per session we talk. So other three parts is usually current pricing, routes, and then location info. But tonight I've decided we're going to discuss all three. And what better way to gauge the market than to explore in depth our favorite commodity out there, titanium. I believe titanium is a good litmus test to see changes in the overall economic market out there. But first, let's get a quick word from our sponsor, SC Wealth Corp, and we'll see you when you get back.
This episode of Bullish is brought to you by our good friends at SC Wealth Corp. Stop the grind, find a community. At SC Wealth Corp, you will find a vast variety of events with massive rewards, huge lottery-sized giveaways, and the unique casino. So come hang out, try your luck, and win some Alpha UEC, but more importantly, find a solid community. They offer 1 million Alpha UEC just for joining the Discord channel. That's right, no strings attached. Just join the Discord channel. And for those wishing to skip the grind, they offer safe, risk-free Alpha UEC purchase options, so you can jump straight into the Star Citizen action. SC Wealth Corp. Stop the grind. Find a community. Link to the Discord is below in the description.
Space is lonely, but you don't have to be alone. Check out SC Wealth Corp. There's no reason to not have a group out there. Contact info for SC Wealth Corp is at the bottom of your mobiGlas and the show notes. But let's get into the good stuff. If you've listened once to Bullish, you'll know that I like to use titanium as our standard trading commodity. Let's talk about the current state versus the old. Prior to the recent bubble burst, titanium could be bought for as low as $710 per SCU, right? 710 UEC per SCU, and sold pretty much anywhere at a very stable $889 to $890. So it would cost you roughly $500,000 as an initial investment to fill up your C2. But oh man, now it's changed. Now the cost to purchase titanium has been cut over 50%. I think specifically it's like 52%. What once cost $710, even that was the lowest amount, can now be purchased at $345 per SCU. That's right, we go from 710 to 345. aUEC Market Watch, which is a great site if you want to look at some of the commodities, they track some great prices out there. They're saying around 354. I'm finding it 8 to 10% cheaper than that for even what they are selling. So now you can completely fill your C2 for no more than $240,000. The risks for running titanium have gotten even lower now. So now your next obvious question is going to be, how much is it for selling? Yeah, buying's great, costs less, but how much am I actually going to sell it for? Yes, as with all things economic, the basic inverse proportional principle of supply and demand fits. As more cheaper titanium becomes available, the demand therefore the selling price goes down, right? One goes up, one goes down. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Titanium on average is selling around $511 per SCU. Now this is a big drop from what we were having at $890, but this is why I always tell you to track certain stats. Yes, it's dropped to almost $380 UEC per SCU. However, when you look at the profit margin, you'll actually see it went up. And it went up a bunch. The highest profit margin I've ever seen, actually, for titanium overall for any commodity. Pre-bubble, we were consistently hitting that about 20% profit margin range for titanium, and our net profit was getting around $105,000 for every run. Now our profit margins for titanium are hitting at a massive 30 to 32%, and we're consistently reaching about $115,000 net profit range. Bigger profit margins, more net, half the upfront cost. So let's summarize again. Like I say, titanium will now cost you half upfront. You're still netting over $115,000 for every 18 to 20 minutes, right? I mean that alone says it all. But we're gonna get onto it. So after the next break, when we come back, I'm gonna go over the trade routes for titanium. Followed on after that, we'll talk about locations. We'll go deep diving into locations. And at the very end, we'll go over some future stakes, some crazy new commodities out there that might be the new game changers out there. And from what I'm hearing is I might have to retract my general overview on laranite, because word out there is laranite might actually be decent. So let's look at the next break, and we'll talk about trade routes when we get back.
Since 2845, Drake Interplanetary has been proud to offer affordable and reliable starships for the common person. Explore the galaxy without breaking the bank. For your next interplanetary adventure, choose Drake. Drake Interplanetary, power to the people.
I hope the previous segment was enough to hook you to understand that there's a lot involved with titanium right now. Because now we're getting some of the nut and bolts, more of the trade craft type stuff when it comes to trading. While there's technically a route in each system for titanium, there's really only 3 ones that you can do that make any sense at all. Let me explain. The fastest route and my overall favorite are the Hurston routes. Lathan and Besdick are both on aerial, and the RRT, our route run time, is a very small 18 to 20 minutes depending on the trams, right? An added benefit to aerial run is that Mantis ships cannot interdict you on this route. It's too short. Aerial's too close to Hurston to be interdicted. So not only are you putting up only $240,000 up front less, right? Less over investment, but here you can't even be pulled out of quantum. So the only places the pirates can get you are at each endpoint, coming out of quantum at Hurston and coming at the station where you're buying at Besdick or Lathan. So again, that's one of my favorites. That's why I always picked them. However, if you're over in the ArcCorp area, Lyria has 3 different locations that sells titanium: Shubin South 2, Shubin South 5, and Humboldt Mines. The RRT is slightly higher than Aerial, but not bad. So there are three locations in the ArcCorp system that sell it. All of them are in Lyria. Microtech is the next area we're talking about. Here, there's only one place that sells titanium. That's Rayari Cantwell on Clio. I'm not sure the RT. I do owe you an answer on that one. I've never ran the titanium from Clio to New Babbage, so I do need to do that once to at least get an RT for that. Again, like I said, there's a route in every system, but Crusader is absolute garbage for a ton of reasons when it comes to buying and also for selling titanium. I'll go a little more of that in the location segment of it. Just understand, do not buy and sell titanium in Crusader. There's good reasons for it. When we come back, we'll take a deep dive into the selling and buying locations and give you stats for each. ArcCorp Media Company has released its newest radio melodrama called The Holdup from the Palmetto Pirate series. Let's take a quick listen from a small section.
Come, all you adventurers, as we tag along during the daring antics of our favorite suave rapscallion. Listen in as our ne'er-do-well baffles the local fuzz and pulls off dashing capers. Miscreant or scoundrel, no flatfoot can catch the genteel swashbuckler known as the Palmetto Pirate. Join us next time as our suave captain prepares to set out into the black void and deliver the much-needed supplies to the desperate space station. what dangers lie in wait for our stalwart duo.
Okay. Hopefully you're still with me. We talked about current pricings, current state of the titanium commodity. We talked about trade routes you should be taking to buying and selling it. Now let's go into the specifics of each of the buying and selling locations. All right. We're going to get into some math, so get your pen and paper out for this one. What we look for at a location, regardless if it's a buying or selling location, are three main things. First, and as expectant, most important, is the price per SCU. Let's be honest. If the prices are terrible, then who cares about anything else? So price per unit is the first one. Second, we need to look at the station's inventory capacity. For selling location, this means how much of a certain commodity they can potentially have on site. The higher the capacity, the better chance you fill your ship, and faster. For buying locations, this means the max amount of a commodity they are willing to buy and hold on to. So the higher the capacity at a buying location, the better chance you have of offloading all your cargo at once. And that's what we need to do because we need to turn our ships and go buy and sell more, right? So the higher the capacity of the location, the better chance you have to offload. Yep. Last, and in my opinion, the least important though, is the restock rates. These rates, it's as simple as it sounds. These are the rates for selling places. Rates for selling places dictate how fast they can have a commodity available for purchase. And for a buying location, it is how fast they can move a commodity and make room for people to offload more cargo. So if you have a small inventory capacity at a location, you want to make sure the refresh or restock rates are higher. All right. Kind of offset that. Or if you see that the restock rates, it takes them a long time to bring the commodities up to sell, you want to make sure that it's got a huge capacity. Otherwise, you'll be sitting at a place waiting for commodities to be available. And again, on the buying location, you don't want to sit there and keep selling, piecemeal off of your hold. It's going to mess with your numbers. It's more for you to track, right? As you sell, the prices can change. Same thing with the selling locations too. The more you're buying it, you want one flat rate for everything and be done with it. So let's get into the specifics of the locations. We're going to start off with the selling locations. And then we'll roll into the buying location. All right. Before we talked about Lathan and Besdick. All right. The restock here is the fastest and with one of the highest inventories. So like I said, it restocks faster and already has a high inventory. Again, you add that to all the other benefits of Ariel, Lathan, and Besdick. I don't really see why. But if you're going to do titanium, going anywhere else. But here we go. Lathan restocks at 177 SCU per minute. Besdick, which is the fastest out of everywhere in Stanton, restocks at 222 a minute, right? There we go. Huge drop off after that for Ariel. Lyria's Sal 5, 2, and Humboldt mines have about 8,000 SU for the inventory, and so does Lathan and Besdick. That's the max, really, anywhere in Stanton is 8,000 as far as inventory spacing. But the restock rates are way less in Lyria. Sal 5, the restock rate is only 30 per minute. Shubin Sal 2, it's only 25 per minute. And Humboldt Mines is only 12 per minute. So we go from Lathan and Besdick, which has the same inventory capacity of 8,000 SCU, with restock rates of 177 and 222, down to 30, 25, and 12. It's a massive drop off, right? So again, that's where it is. But for our third route, Rayari, Cantwell, and Clio in the Microtech area, it also has the 8,000 inventory capacity. But here, the restock rate is even lower at 10 per minute. So 222, 177 for Hurston area. For our Corp area, restock rates of 30, 25, and 12. For Microtech, restock rate is 10. All right. And we talked about the worst case. So I'll go ahead and explain Crusader, even though I told you don't ever go there. I don't even mention in the trade routes because here's why. Tram and Myers on selling in Crusader. That's the one place that they sell titanium. They have the worst inventory. So all the other places had 8,000, right? Here is 5,760 capacity. And restock's also the worst at 9 per minute. So the lowest inventory and the slowest restock rates. Not to mention they have Orson has the worst. And we'll go over prices here in a sec now. Now let's go over buying locations. So that was all of our selling locations. That's where you go to buy your initial titanium. Now we're going to talk about where we sell it at. Let's start off with Area 18. The TDD in Area 18 has the highest capacity for purchasing at 30,000 SCU. And they clear, like we talk about restock rates for some locations, here we talk clearing rates. They clear 300 SCU per minute. The pricing that you're going to get per unit is also the best here at 512 per SCU. So usually we said the average is 511. Here it's actually 512. So it has the highest capacity, technically the highest rate, 1 UEC extra, right? With an okay clearing rate of 300 SCU per minute. The CBD in Lorville has one of the highest clearing rates. It clears at 500 per minute. So Area 18 clears at 300. Here at Lorville, we clear at 500. Capacity is unfortunately less than half of Area 18 of 12,000 SCU. Area 18 had 30,000 SCU of space for titanium. Here in Lorville, it only has 12,000. And the price at Lorville is 511. So, I mean, yeah. The TDD in New Babbage has a higher rate. Has the best price. That was 517. So Area 18 and Lorville have the same price, about 511, 512. New Babbage is the highest price. That you can sell it at. It's 517. Has the same capacity as Lorville at 12,000, and has a clear rate of 500 per minute. So the same capacity, same clearing rate as Lorville, has about 5 or 6 more per SCU that you can make there as well. So I think I fumbled that a little bit, so I'll just clarify again. Area 18 has the highest capacity at 30,000, clears at 300 per minute, prices at 511 per SCU. Lorville has the highest clearing rate of 500 per minute, capacity of 12,000, pricing also 511. New Babbage has the best price at 517, capacity of 12K also, and a clearing rate of 500. So, to go with the worst purchase option in Crusader, right? We talked about how bad it is to buy it there. It's also the worst place to sell is in Orson. It has a capacity of 12,000, right? Clearly, it clears at 500, but the pricing is an abysmal 460 per SCU. So we go from 511, 517 down to 460. So again, don't sell titanium in the Crusader area at all. All right, guys. Thank you guys again for going through this with the titanium. We talked about the current state of it, how you can now buy and fill your C2 for half what you used to prior to the recession bubbles. We talked about the fact that your profit margins have gone up 33%. They're now at 30 to 32% profit margins, right? And instead of the old 20%. You're still going to you're going to make probably about 5 to 10K more in your net profit ranges. We have 3 viable routes, and we've learned to stay away from Crusader when you buy and sell anything titanium related. All right. So some of the things that I've been hearing lately that we're going to explore, I'm hearing Laranite's actually good now. So I don't know what changed in the Laranite world, so we're going to take a look at that. There's also a new commodity out there that people are running a lot of. And the word on the street is you can net $250K. So over double what we make on titanium, and for about the same, if not quicker, RRT. So that's so we're gonna take a look at that. The word is it's beryl, so we're gonna take a look at beryl. And then after that, I'm also hearing that helium out in Lyria, out in the ArcCorp area, is decent right now. So we're gonna take a couple looks at that. So there's a lot of commodities out there that are now might actually be viable options for us to trade and sell. And we're going to take a look at a few of those. But again, we like to use our baseline titanium to give us a judgment on how the markets are doing out there. This is your host, Sandy Claus. Thank you guys for checking in, and check out the next one, and I'll talk to you later.